we think of modern warfare, we often imagine fighter jets roaring across the sky, tanks rolling across deserts, and warships dominating the oceans. But in today's battles, the real winners are often invisible. They sit silently on the ground, watching the skies with unblinking electronic eyes, waiting for a threat that may arrive in minutes, seconds, or even milliseconds. These are air defense systems, the true guardians of nations. And today, we are placing three of the world's most important medium-range air defense systems under the strategic microscope: India's Akash missile, China's HQ-16, and America's NASAMS. This is not just a technical comparison. This is a story of three military philosophies, three geopolitical doctrines, and three very different ideas about how nations protect their skies in the age of drones, cruise missiles, and network-centric warfare.
Before we move forward, please like, share, and subscribe Strategic Vanguard and be up to date with the latest news and happenings from the world of defense, strategic, and international affairs. Tune into our video channels in YouTube and Rumble. And if you want to hear the audio version, tune into our Strategic Vanguard channels in Spotify and Amazon Music.
This is the real air defense power showdown, shaping the future battlefield. To understand why this comparison matters, we must first understand the world we live in today. Wars are no longer announced. They erupt suddenly, often without warning. Drones cross borders silently. Cruise missiles fly at treetop level. Precision-guided munitions strike from hundreds of kilometers away. A nation may lose its radar, its airbase, or its command center before it even realizes it is under attack. In such an environment, air defense is no longer an optional luxury. It is an existential necessity. India faces two nuclear-armed adversaries on two fronts. China is building one of the largest air and missile forces in human history. The United States is defending not only itself, but also a network of allies across Europe and Asia. Each of these nations builds air defense according to its own strategic fears, its own geography, and its own political realities. That is why Akash, HQ-16, and NASAMS are not merely weapons. They are strategic statements. Let us begin with India's Akash. The Akash program was born out of a simple but powerful idea. India must never again depend entirely on foreign powers to defend its own skies. After decades of sanctions, technology denial regimes, and supply vulnerabilities, India realized that air defense had to be indigenous, affordable, and available in large numbers. Akash was designed to be exactly that. It is a medium-range surface-to-air missile system meant to protect cities, air bases, forward troop concentrations, and key installations against enemy aircraft, drones, and cruise missiles. Akash uses a highly mobile, road-based launcher system supported by indigenous radars and command vehicles. One of its defining strengths is its integration into India's layered air defense network. It works alongside short-range systems at the lower tier and long-range systems at the upper tier, creating a defensive umbrella rather than a single shield. Over the years, Akash has evolved from its original version into improved variants, with better seekers, enhanced electronic resistance, and higher accuracy. Today, it forms the backbone of India's medium-range air defense capability. Now let us turn eastward to China and the HQ-16. The HQ-16 represents a very different philosophy. China does not merely build weapons for self-defense, it builds weapons for strategic dominance and export influence. HQ-16 is a product of China's obsession with system of systems warfare. It is designed to operate inside vast sensor networks linking satellites, airborne early warning aircraft, ground radars, naval radars, and battlefield command centers. Where Akash emphasizes rugged reliability and self-sufficiency, HQ-16 emphasizes integration and digital networking. HQ-16 exists in both land-based and naval versions, allowing it to protect Chinese ground forces as well as naval task forces. Its role is not only to block incoming aircraft, but also to deny entire airspaces to enemy forces. It fits neatly into China's anti-access and area denial doctrine, a strategy aimed at preventing adversaries from operating freely near China's shores and borders. In recent years, HQ-16 has also become a significant export product for China, strengthening Beijing's military influence across Asia and beyond. Finally, we arrive at NASAMS, the Western benchmark in this category. NASAMS is not a single missile system in the traditional sense. It is a modular, network-centric air defense architecture built around highly advanced sensors, distributed launchers, and extremely accurate interceptors. Its greatest strength lies not in raw firepower, but in information superiority. NASAMS can link multiple radar types, share data across vast distances, and engage targets with extraordinary precision. Unlike Akash, which relies on a vertically integrated missile family, NASAMS draws from a pool of advanced air-to-air missile technology adapted for ground launch. This gives it exceptional flexibility. It can defend cities, military bases, and high-value infrastructure against aircraft, helicopters, drones, and cruise missiles. NASAMS is also famous for protecting some of the most strategically sensitive airspace in the world, including national capitals and nuclear facilities. With the basic identities of these systems established, let us now move into the heart of the comparison: performance, survivability, and battlefield relevance. In terms of engagement range, all three systems are broadly competitive, but the implications of range differ based on doctrine. Akash is optimized for medium-range engagements that match India's battlefield depth along its borders. It is designed to counter attacking aircraft before they can release weapons, rather than far out over enemy territory. This matches India's fundamentally defensive posture. HQ-16, on the other hand, places greater emphasis on extended engagement envelopes, enabling it to support China's forward-leaning territorial defense strategy. NASAMS offers flexible engagement ranges depending on the missile selected, making it particularly well-suited for layered urban defense. Guidance technology reveals deeper philosophical differences. Akash uses a command-guided approach supplemented by advanced tracking radars. This makes it highly resistant to certain types of electronic countermeasures and extremely reliable under battlefield conditions. HQ-16 relies on modern active radar guidance, giving it better terminal phase autonomy and multi-target engagement capability. NASAMS employs advanced active seekers supported by sensor fusion across multiple platforms, allowing for exceptional hit probability even against low observable cruise missiles and small drones. Reaction time is another area where doctrine shapes design. NASAMS is engineered for environments where seconds can mean the difference between a successful interception and a catastrophic strike. Its sensors and launchers are designed to respond almost instantly to emerging threats. HQ-16 also operates at high tempo, especially when integrated into naval task groups or air defense brigades. Akash, while slightly slower in absolute terms, compensates through redundancy, mass deployment, and continuous radar coverage. Mobility is critical in a battlefield saturated with surveillance drones and long-range precision weapons. All three systems are mobile, but their battlefield use differs. Akash is optimized for high mobility across varied terrain, from deserts and plains to mountainous border regions. HQ-16 is heavily optimized for networked operations, but still retains strong mobility for rapid redeployment. NASAMS emphasizes distributed deployment rather than rapid maneuver, often operating as part of a fixed or semi-fixed urban defense grid. Now comes the question that often decides wars: combat validation. Akash has been operationally deployed across India for years, protecting major air bases and strategic locations. While it has not yet faced a large-scale wartime barrage, it has undergone extensive operational testing under realistic conditions and continuous upgrades based on user feedback from the Indian Armed Forces. Its greatest validation comes from its sheer scale of deployment and India's decision to make it the backbone of national air defense. HQ-16's combat record is more opaque, largely due to the secrecy surrounding Chinese military operations. It is operational across China and aboard Chinese warships, but verified real-world interception data remains limited. However, its deployment across multiple platforms and its export footprint suggests strong confidence in its capabilities. NASAMS, on the other hand, has seen real-world combat conditions. It has been used to defend high-value urban targets, government centers, and strategic infrastructure in active conflict zones. Its record against drones and cruise missiles has significantly boosted its global reputation. For many military planners, combat-proven performance remains NASAMS's single greatest advantage. Cost is an often ignored but decisive factor. Akash is designed for affordability and scalability. It allows India to deploy large numbers of launchers and missiles without crippling defense budgets. This makes it ideal for extended border protection and sustained conflict scenarios. HQ-16 sits in the middle range of cost, offering advanced capabilities without the extreme price tag of Western systems. NASAMS is considerably more expensive, not only in acquisition, but also in lifecycle maintenance, logistics, and software support. This naturally leads to the question of strategic autonomy. Akash is completely under Indian control. Its production, upgrades, repairs, and future enhancements are all managed within India's defense industrial ecosystem. HQ-16 gives China full control under its own military-industrial complex. NASAMS, however, operates within a tight web of international licensing, political constraints, and allied interoperability requirements. For nations that depend on it, long-term availability can be influenced by geopolitical alignment. Let us now place these systems into realistic battlefield scenarios. Imagine a sudden aerial escalation along the India-China border. Hostile aircraft attempt to penetrate Indian airspace at low altitude under electronic cover. In such a scenario, Akash's dense deployment and terrain-adapted mobility would play a crucial role. Its ability to operate in harsh climates, disperse quickly, and integrate with Indian radar networks gives it a home field advantage. HQ-16, operating on the Chinese side, would seek to establish air denial zones supported by long-range sensors. The engagement would not simply be missile versus missile. It would be radar versus radar, network versus network, doctrine versus doctrine. Now imagine a swarm of low-flying drones and cruise missiles targeting a major metropolitan city. This is where NASAMS truly comes into its own. It was designed precisely for this environment. Its sensor fusion allows it to distinguish between civilian air traffic and hostile targets instantly. Its distributed launchers allow simultaneous multi-directional interception. Its interceptors are optimized for small, agile threats. In such an urban defense role, NASAMS would likely deliver the highest interception probability. Finally, consider a naval task force operating in contested waters. HQ-16 integrated aboard warships provides layered protection against sea-skimming missiles and hostile aircraft. It works as part of a broader naval air defense architecture that includes long-range interceptors and close-in weapon systems. Akash, in its land-based role, does not enter this domain directly. NASAMS, while capable of maritime integration, is still primarily optimized for land-based defense of fixed assets. So which system is the best? The true answer is uncomfortable for those who want a clear winner. There is no absolute best air defense system in the world. There is only the best system for a nation's doctrine, geography, and strategic objectives. For India, Akash represents sovereignty, affordability, and mass defense. It ensures that India can protect its skies without foreign dependency while continuously upgrading its capabilities through indigenous innovation. For China, HQ-16 represents network dominance, export leverage, and integrated battlefield control within its broader anti-access strategy. For the United States and its allies, NASAMS represents technological precision, combat-proven performance, and urban air defense supremacy. The deeper truth is that modern air defense is no longer about individual missiles. It is about ecosystems. The radar that sees first, the data network that processes fastest, the command system that decides quickest, and the interceptor that strikes most accurately. In that ecosystem, missiles are only the final execution layer of an enormous invisible war. As warfare moves deeper into the age of hypersonic weapons, artificial intelligence, and autonomous drone swarms, these systems will continue evolving. Akash will grow smarter and faster. HQ-16 will become more deeply integrated into China's massive digital battlefield. NASAMS will continue absorbing cutting-edge Western sensor and interceptor technology. But one truth will remain unchanged. The nation that controls the sky controls the battlefield below. And in that silent, invisible war above our heads, Akash, HQ-16, and NASAMS are already shaping the future. This is not just a comparison of three weapons. This is the story of how India, China, and the United States defend their sovereignty in the most unforgiving arena of war, the sky.
Thank you for joining us on this Strategic Vanguard deep dive. If you found value in this analysis, Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We bring you fresh deep dives every Wednesday and Saturday here on YouTube and Rumble. And you can also catch the audio versions on Spotify and Amazon Music. Just search for Strategic Vanguard Deep Dive. For more insights, articles, and discussions, subscribe to our blog at strategicvanguard.com. Your support helps us grow and bring you more in-depth analysis on defense, geopolitics, and strategy. Until next time, stay informed, stay strategic.